Washington Post report says that the Charlotte House Committee, which raises money for the Democratic Convention, is relying on a $10 million line of credit from Duke Energy. This is after falling $5 million short of its fundraising effort for the convention. And the CEO of Duke, that's Jim Rogers, even spoke at the convention. Now, the committee disputes the report, but it certainly raises a lot of questions about crony capitalism. And with me now is Tom Borelli, FreedomWorks Senior Fellow. And Tom, there is another wrinkle to this cozy story of what's going back and forth, and that's that Duke received $200 million in stimulus money as well.
Oh, absolutely. This is crony capitalism gone wild. There's a real marriage between the Democratic Party and Duke Energy. As you mentioned, Obama's stimulus funds gave Duke Energy a $200 million grant. Now, keep in mind, Duke gives 5% dividends to their investors. So our taxpayer money went to Duke, and then they rewarded their shareholders. I mean, this is outrageous. I mean, Jim Rogers has gone all in for President Obama. He was on the host committee, and then he had the audacity to use corporate assets to back the convention. And they also became a bank. They're a utility. Now they're a bank for the DNC, and they also gave them free office space. Now they're a realty agent.
I thought that was amazing. I mean, I wasn't sure within their bylaws how it was possible. I mean, seriously, they're a utility. How could they give a $10 million line of credit to this committee? I know that one of the things they've tried to say in their defense is that it wasn't about Democrat or Republicans. It was about trying to bring this business to the state. But if the DNC defaults on this line of credit, their own shareholders are the ones that are going to be on the hook there for, you know, the president's reelection campaign.
Absolutely. I mean, again, this is crony capitalism gone wild. Look into the bylaws. I'm not sure, but that's what the shareholders should be. And, you know, Jim Rogers is on CNN, and he asked him the big question, are we better off than we are 4 years ago? He said, with energy policy, we are. I mean, my God, what's this man thinking? Hasn't he looked at a gas pump? Doesn't he know, you know, coal companies are going bankrupt?
Well, and maybe he's heavily invested in green energy. I mean, he's a utility.
Well, that's part of the deal. That's part remember, he lobbied for cap and trade, which, by the way, didn't go through. So now we just have the regulations through EPA and no trade. That leaves Duke Energy in bad position because they use a lot of coal. This is bad for everybody.
Well, I mean, you've seen a lot of CEOs out there shilling, you know, with President Obama for their own interests. I know Jeff Immelt has been accused of doing the same thing for GE. At the same time, you see people like Charles Koch, who wrote an editorial in the Wall Street Journal today, saying that while he's someone who has benefited from influence, at the same time, this is why 68% of voters say they believe government and big business work together against the rest of us, against the rest of America.
Absolutely. They're joined together. Obama wants higher utility prices. He said energy prices would skyrocket. Duke Energy wants higher utility prices. But it's all going to fall apart because the people, you know, they have to go through the utility commissions for some of these rates to go up. It's going to backfire anyway. People are already being squeezed.
Yeah, and when you hear Elizabeth Warren saying things like, well, the system is rigged against, you know, the regular guy, to me it seems like this is one way that it is.
Oh, absolutely. This is a great classic case of crony capitalism and why it's bad for everybody. Who wins? The political operatives, a few companies, but in the long term, shareholders suffer, and most importantly, we the people suffer.
You would think that shareholders would benefit, of course, because they got that $200 million, and as you pointed out, they get the dividend. But here's a case where they might be on the hook for President Obama's reelection expenses.
And then long term again. Remember, cap and trade didn't go through. They now have EPA, you know, crushing utilities with those expensive regulations. That's going to be passed on to somebody. Shareholders are going to be in trouble.
Very frustrating. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on to talk to us about it. We appreciate it. Even though it's frustrating, you've got to hear about it so you know about what's going on. All right.